So we are really in the swing of the new season now, aren't we? With Liverpool about to contest their third game in just 6 days. This is what it's like really until May, isn't it? So we have to get used to it. And of course, that means press conference match, press conference match, press conference match. And I have just been to the latest Arne Slot press conference at the AXA Training Centre over my shoulder to hear from Arne Slot ahead of what is another big game for Liverpool, isn't it? Of course, it is Everton visiting Anfield in the Merseyside derby in tomorrow's early kickoff. So, lots to get into from this press conference. And I guess the big question among supporters is, well, can Alexander Isak start? Can he build on his debut for Liverpool against Atletico Madrid and come and put Everton to the sword on Saturday? Well, Slot in his answer to that question kind of didn't want to give too much away. He said he doesn't want to confirm the team, although he will be deciding that today rather than any earlier point. But he did say this on Alexander Isak's fitness. Alex did feel his body more than maybe ever before after the 60 he played. So let's see how he recovered. Of course, he's missed all of pre-season, hasn't he? I would be absolutely amazed if he follows up 60 minutes against Atletico Madrid by starting in the Merseyside derby. But I expect to see him in the squad, a real potential for him to come off the bench. Can you imagine if Liverpool need a goal late on? I mean, they always need a goal late on at the moment, don't they? To be able to bring on the British transfer record signing and a player of the quality of Alexander Isak to try and nick you a goal. That's not a bad situation to be in. So I expect him to start from the bench. And as I say, so he is in the squad. I also expect that to be true of Curtis Jones. We've been told by the manager that he is fit and available for this one. Obviously, of course, he missed a couple of games with a small issue, didn't he? Burnley and Atletico Madrid. But he trained fully on the day of the Atletico Madrid game and now back in full training with his teammates and so available for this one. And very good to have a Scouser and a local lad, isn't it, back in the team for the Merseyside derby, or at least back in the squad. Now, of course, that means with Curtis Jones being available, Isak being okay, that Liverpool actually have a fully fit squad available. And I want to dwell on this a little bit because for me, it's Arne Slot's superpower, and one of the biggest things that he brought to Liverpool, alongside all the tactical genius, the smart subs, setting up the team in such a solid way and so well balanced. I think the fact that he and his coaching staff and his medical staff are so good at consistently getting players on the pitch is such an underrated facet of management, really, and such a big strength of his, I think, since he's come into the club. I mean, you think, now I don't want to do down Jurgen Klopp at any point, what a legend of this club he is, but how many times, particularly in those latter couple of seasons, did Jurgen Klopp have a fully fit squad to pick from? I would say possibly never really in the last couple of seasons. And you know, the best season he had for availability was the quadruple season, but it just was very unusual that season. It didn't happen very often under his watch, and because of the intense style of football he played at, I dare say was a part of that. But of course, slightly less intense style of football, a little bit more possession-based maybe. Is that helping? He's also making kind of really, really smart decisions as well around things. I wrote a piece on Substack last season about the fact that he's more willing to give players time off during the season. Once he gets them fully fit in this first period, he will give them the odd bit of time off to make sure that they recover really well and that they just don't have that fatigue that can often lead to injuries. And even today, he spoke about it in his press conference that the players are training later today than they usually would because it's a 3 games in 6 days rather. And because he's worried about fatigue and he wants them to get that extra recovery, he's basically giving them a lie-in today so that they don't have to come into the morning to train. So they'll train a little bit later in the day. And it's just smart moves like that. That's how you end up keeping your players available over a long and hard season. And that's how you're going into this game with a fully fit squad available. And like I say, that is very unusual for that to happen at Liverpool in recent years. And I just think it's such a big facet for Arne Slot. And so huge boost for them going into that Merseyside derby. So having a lie-in apparently is very, very good for you. So take that forward in your life as well. And of course, he's also asked about the fact now that Isak, is available to play some minutes. He's made his debut in midweek. Is there a possibility that he could ever be paired with Hugo Ekitike in a front two? Now, he was asked about that, and I thought he was interesting on this. He said, I consider it because you consider many things, but it's also clear that we have a 4-3-3 structure. And so he's saying that really that's mainly going to be the way that Liverpool attack it. They've got two very good strikers to rotate through that position. There's so many games in a season, of course. But he said Hugo can play off the left. And of course, if we do have injuries, we can go to a 4-4-2 if we want. Now, the injuries point is very interesting. Obviously, they don't have any injuries at all at the moment, but they will strike at some point in the season. But it did make me think about whether that is the plan when Mohamed Salah goes to AFCON. Of course, you lose him on the right-hand side there. Jeremy Frimpong, definitely an option in that wing position. But could we see from time to time in that run, the 4-4-2 structure maybe that Arne Slot can use from time to time? Maybe he doesn't use it as much in possession, but he certainly uses it a lot out of possession. And of course, we have seen him use it. You think about City away last season was a good example. He used 2 false nines on that occasion. But you could just play it with 2 out-and-out strikers, couldn't you? So that'll be interesting to see, albeit I don't expect we will be seeing it in this game. And another question, a big talking point from the season really, is the fact that Liverpool have needed late goals because they've so often thrown 2-goal leads away, haven't they? It happened against Bournemouth, happened against Newcastle, happened against Atletico Madrid most recently. And he said about that, it's not ideal to give a 2-goal lead away. I mean, that is understatement, isn't it? Twice. So it's something we can improve as well as many other things. If every game you have to go all the way to the end, players can run out of steam towards the end of a season. So his big worry about this is he didn't suggest that he felt that he was kind of all the same issue he was seeing. For example, it was counter-attacks against Bournemouth, wasn't it? It was against Newcastle, long balls into the box against Atletico Madrid. Probably just a little bit unlucky with the deflections. So he didn't think they were necessarily linked, but he doesn't want to keep giving 2-goal leads away because players have to push so hard, don't they, until the full 90 minutes. And yes, he can use subs, but it takes an awful lot of emotional and physical energy to keep having to come up with last-minute winners. So that's something he's concerned about. And you think Liverpool maybe didn't have so many last-minute winners last season, but a lot of the games were tight very much until the end and they had to keep going at full throttle. So I think it's something I picked out in a video prior to the season. You want to see more comfortable wins. And I think the manager is suggesting that as well, not just because it's entertaining to win 5-0, but also because the strain it can put on your squad. Even having to win 2-0 sometimes, you're having to go to 90 minutes to keep that clean sheet. It can be really difficult. Whereas if you get 3 or 4 goals ahead, you can maybe see the game out with just a little bit of sterile possession. So something he definitely wants to see improved, and I want to see improved, maybe starting at the weekend, because a nice comfortable win over Everton where I could get my report written up before the 88th minute or before injury time in most cases, that would be pretty nice and a treat for all us journalists, I think. And I'm pretty sure it'll be a treat for all the fans as well because of the stress that this is putting on you this season so far. So, of course, I will be at the game at Anfield on Saturday. Very much looking forward to that. In the meantime, do let me know your score predictions, what you think of the talking points from this press conference. And, of course, I'm always going to ask if you can like and subscribe. We are aiming for 40,000. Tell all your friends about it. Let's get there as soon as possible. So I'm going to wrap it up there and I'll see you guys at Anfield on Saturday.